Is gambling the most deceptive addiction? Hi, my name is Luke Vu, PhD. I'm a clinical psychologist, mental health expert helping young men overcome digital addiction, depression, and anxiety. Today, we're going to break down one of the things that I often see in my practice: gambling addiction. Why is it so addictive? How does it rewire the brain? Why do people do it? What makes it different from other digital addictions? Well, here's a crash course. Quick disclaimer, I'm not your psych, this isn't treatment, and if you need a psychologist, you should find a registered, qualified psychologist in your area. Gambling basics. Gambling is one of the oldest behavioral addictions known to humankind. In fact, this is why gambling is often discouraged across cultures and religions. And in modern times, the most common gambling patterns are related to sports betting, casino games, and especially in Australia where I practice, poker machines, the type you will see in Vegas. So how do people get hooked? Gambling is addictive because it hijacks the dopaminergic system, or our reward system in our brains. In fact, it does so in a way that elicits the maximum dopamine response, which is why it's so addictive. Most of us think dopamine as a reward or fix when we get to our goal. But specifically, dopamine levels peak in anticipation of the objective, not when the objective is actually achieved. Think about it as a get after it signal. It motivates goal-directed behavior. What's important to note is that when you don't achieve your objective, such as winning a round in a game or winning your bet, your dopamine levels, your drive, and your motivation to repeat the behavior increase regardless. So let that sink in. If I don't get my reward every single time, I'll be more motivated than if I did. So for my fellow psych nerds, this is called a variable ratio reinforcement schedule. In short, because of the way our brains are wired and how dopamine behaves, we work way harder when the reward is uncertain. Increased dopamine in the face of uncertainty is why people consume porn on multiple tabs looking for the perfect video, why gamers keep entering lobbies looking for that win, and you guessed it, why gamblers keep gambling no matter how grave the financial setback. And psychologists have studied the heck out of this in rats, in pigeons, chimps, and humans. It turns out, from all these organisms, this engagement with uncertainty is trickiest in humans. Now, this is because humans, we develop beliefs, theories, and systems to try to justify profit from this randomly allocated reward. The factors affecting drive and behavior are much more complex and personalized in humans. On top of everything, chronic gambling trains your brain to have urges to gamble, be driven to gamble, be reminded of gambling, and even dream of gambling. In some cases, gamblers report a trance-like state while gambling that is out of their control. Some report that they use gambling to escape difficult emotions such as stress or depression, while others report that gambling is simply a habit they cannot shake. How gambling is framed in every gambler's belief system is different, so the remedy is never going to be the same. But how the addiction takes hold tends to follow the same set of stages. So how does gambling turn into a problem? Gambling problems simply grow if they're unregulated and unmonitored. I've never met a gambler that intended to have a problem. It just grows as a function of their initial gambling patterns. The common theme across problem gamblers tends to be a positive first experience, being introduced to gambling in a positive context early on. And this is usually winning a memorable amount of money. That's the most common setup. You've associated gambling with a positive outcome and it slowly integrates into your life. Just imagine you lost consecutively for weeks. You probably conclude that this activity isn't for you. Many researchers believe that early career winnings is a key risk factor. It's also the reason that people don't find lottery tickets as addictive as gambling on sports, casino games, and poker machines. So what defines problem gambling? As your gambling becomes more integrated into your life, your small winnings that you initially experience as novel and exciting, they start to be a little meh, which encourages a riskier and therefore financially problematic amount to stake. For some, it is problematic because the act of gambling also doubles as a coping mechanism for negative emotions such as stress, anxiety, depression, or interpersonal conflict. So you're more likely to find yourself initiating gambling as an activity, both for fun and also to manage your mood. As you become a more experienced gambler, your betting strategy develops and the drive for that behavior combines with other higher order brain functions, such as problem solving and pattern recognition. You're trying to figure it out. Should I vary my bets? Should I increase or decrease it? Should I change machines or games? Do I grind it out until the system starts paying out? Now, this is a key feature of a chronic gambling problem, the mindset of having rationalized a method of winning money and magically controlling pure chance. So what sets a gambling addiction apart from other digital addictions such as porn and gaming? The core issue of gambling is that your beliefs and mental wiring are at complete odds with reality. I feel that with porn, gaming, and even substances, you know that more is not the solution, but you have difficulty stopping. Gambling is unique because problem gamblers believe that more gambling is the solution. And it sounds like this. Just one more time and I'll win it back. Double or nothing, I have to break even. My wife is going to kill me if she finds out. I can't stop now, I'm on a roll. What adds to the complexity is the perseverance, problem-solving skills, and a little grasp of math makes it feel almost impossible to cut your losses, especially if you've been successful in the past. These factors keep the problem going. Once you've accumulated some serious debt, gambling can also feel like a shortcut to redemption, and you try to break even. Besides the fact that partaking in gambling spikes your dopamine, what makes it unique is that gambling presents itself as both the solution and the cause for problem users, because the reward and punishment are both monetary. No porn addict believes that more porn will fix their problem, and no alcoholic believes that drinking more will reverse their liver damage. But in a twisted, tragic way, chronic gamblers have thoughts that encourage more gambling to solve problems caused by the gambling in the first place. Is gambling recovery uniquely challenging? So gambling recovery is also unique because in addition to abstaining from gambling, you also have to attack your beliefs about gambling. That is, your system or understanding of why and how you play. You have to proactively let that belief die beyond just understanding that it's a game of luck. Deeply acknowledging that your beliefs were incorrect despite those powerful memories of winning. The most important belief to let go is that gambling is a shortcut to redemption. It simply isn't. It will take time, maybe a long time, to recover financially, psychologically, and for your relationships to repair. But they will, slowly and steadily. Remember, there is no shortcut. The house always wins. You already know that. Is there such a thing as responsible gambling? It's tough. Gambling is inherently risky because it puts people at risk of developing a gambling problem or relapsing. All in all, it is essentially playing with fire. A better question to ask yourself is there something more rewarding, more fulfilling, and less damaging that you could be spending your money on? So there isn't a shortage of online content that sheds light on this, from TED Talks retelling first-hand experiences of recovered addicts to anonymous ex-casino staff explaining just how gambling preys on their patrons. But I hope this video breaks down the basics of why gambling is so crippling and how it takes a grip. I really hope you found this useful. Don't forget to hit subscribe. I'm Luke Vu. Be kind, be you. Catch you next time.